comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use. Furthermore, Grand Rising and welcome to Blended Healing. I am not a relationship expert. I am not. I have experiences like most of you when it comes to that. But there is something that has come to my attention that I'd like to share with you. Something that you might be able to understand or are experiencing or had experience. And it's a secretive type of attachment, your secret attachment. It is considered a widely known attachment style. We've been talking about different attachment styles, in the past. And we have, deep dive into a few of them. But there's one that is very relevant, I believe. And it could put you up on some information on how to navigate this. Or if you decide that you don't want to navigate at all. Or it can shed light on this certain attachment style. What is the attachment style, Blended? It's called avoidantly attached. What is that? It is when we are in a relationship, right? And usually we tell each other things about ourselves, self-disclosure. And we know that that builds a strong foundation in our relationship because we feel safe to share our personal information with another person. And when we do that, it brings us closer together. Something that some people don't want to do. They avoid it. What is the definition of avoidant attachment? They avoid opening up and tend to be highly selective about revealing information to others, even in close relationships. It is a style that is characterized by being reluctant to rely on others and a desire to maintain emotional independence. People who partake in this are usually individuals that downplay their need for any emotional connection and prioritize their own self-reliance over the intimacy. They are uncomfortable with closeness and have difficulty expressing their emotions. People who avoid the attachment to other people struggle with trust in their romantic partners, and they appear distant, emotionally unavailable, or detached in that said relationship. They could have been hurt, or they could have been rejected, right? Somewhere along their life. But let's talk about why they avoid and why do they feel that they need to be so damn secretive. They don't want to look weak. When they are in a relationship with you, they avoid developing a selective sharing strategy. They don't want to share. And the impacts, not only how much they share with their person, but the type of information that they will share with you. They find it safer to reveal their own personal life, primarily positive life events. And they also tend to display their strength and their abilities and high levels of competence. In avoiding while you're in a relationship, sharing positive events or events conveying high competence can be greater than that of sharing negative events or events conveying low competence. They don't want to show anything in a negative light about themselves. But how is that possible? If you are in a relationship with somebody, you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're not going to just see the good things. So you already know that they're avoiding mentioning any kind of losses or any perceived failures or about losing a job or struggling with health issues to avoid looking weak to others and orphan to themselves. You, beloved, might develop a self image based on strength, competence, and self reliance. Sharing your emotional difficulties contradicts this carefully crafted persona that you have put together, making you feel dependent and inadequate. You don't want to show anybody how vulnerable you are because you want to preserve your sense of self worth. Also, avoidant attachment individuals often want to suppress any emotional needs and present a stoic front to cope with any type of caregivers who, help them out, who were inconsistent in what they did in their lives, who are unresponsive or emotionally unavailable to them. So as a result, they have avoid revealing themselves or any information that could increase their own chances of being rejected, abandoned, or even criticized. Beloveds, you often come into a relationship with the expectation of getting hurt, and you don't want to present the other person with the ammunition to do it. So, what you do is that you avoid seeking support or even seeming like that you need any help at all costs. People don't like to share negative events. They don't. They are equating that to seeking support around these events. And they may motivate other people to do things better, or they want them to reveal things about themselves, whether it's negative, positive, whatever. They want you to reveal it, but they don't expect any support. in return. It's ironic, I believe, that in you trying to avoid a scenario where people will be uncaring and unresponsive to you, you avoid attaching to individuals that do not give others the chance to be supportive of you at all. Another thing, they want to avoid emotional closeness. People who are avoidantly attached avoid sharing information that is emotionally vulnerable to effectively distance themselves and avoid building deeper connections with other people, right? When you avoid, it's some type of a trigger for you that may stem back to your childhood patterns of neglect because it's hindering your ability to form any type of close and fulfilling relationship, since genuine intimacy requires a willingness to be open, vulnerable, and emotionally connected with your person. However, you become secretive to avoid dealing with your own feelings about an issue, or you try to get around it because you don't know about the uncertainty or the discomfort of what these emotions might bring up for you. So, you not having any emotional response from maybe a parental, right, as a kid, and it can teach you to be more unresponsive to yourself when you are upset and you don't know how to self-soothe yourself. And then you find things to do on other unhelpful ways. I want you to understand that people who avoid being attached also prioritize a sense of a deep urgency to keep their independence. And they want you to know that they are self sufficient. And that way, it can help them maintain control over their emotions and their relationships. And being emotional opens up something like relinquishing their control, which could be difficult to let go of as a coping mechanism. Gotta be in control, right? And due to their own past experience with unreliable or emotionally unavailable people, they find it difficult to trust others with their emotions, believing that vulnerability only leads to disappointment or betrayal. Beloved, I want you to know that they prefer not to get their hopes up, that a connection will be secure and long lasting. What they do is they choose to keep their feelings to themselves so they can make a person, right, standoffish, like backup. But what ultimately happens is that you lose out on healthy love, meaningful connections, and healing and social support. And you can learn to accept love and support over time with more positive relationship experiences. I know, I know, I know that with practice, and sometimes you might have to go to get professional help to help you get through and break through what is avoiding, why you're avoiding, Why don't you want to be close to people? What are you hiding? What don't you want to come to the surface? What are you squishing down? Because you want to stay safe when you're vulnerable and you want to prove that your fears are wrong and you want to give to other loved ones a chance to offer you the support that you always deserve, but you stand off. You stand off. Beloved, I want you to understand it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show people who you really are. It's okay. You don't have to be caught in a box. How are you supposed to have in a relationship to grow if you don't even trust who you with to be your authentic self? Make that make sense to me. How are you going to build on anything if you start off with not trusting? I understand that a lot of us bring our baggage with us. Hell, I did. You know, I was very cautious when I entered into different relationships, whether it was a friendship, romantic situation, or whatever. I'm very guarded, but I'm also a person that believes that I will trust you until you show me something. Listen, you could be in a relationship or a situationship with somebody, right? And you already know that they put their best foot forward in the first 3 to 6 months, especially if you put the sex on the show. Because there's nothing that is bonding because you don't have any physical intimacy like that. Usually, if you give up the cookie too fast, then it's all based on a farce anyway. Because you don't really know who you just gave your cookie to, especially if you want to be in a long term relationship. I'm just keeping it a buck. They're going to put their best foot forward. Then eventually, as time wears on, then you will eventually see who the person that they really, really are. Now, this is the test moment where you know that if you can trust them with your heart or not, because they will display things to you in that period of time. Again, if somebody shows you who they truly are, believe them. But what I don't want you to do is to lose sight of hope. There is somebody out there for you that is tailor made for you. Where we mess up at is when we try to get in the midst of the divine purifying somebody just for us. And we just snatch any Tom, Dick, Sally, Jane, and Susan in order to fill that void. But it's an empty void. Just see, feel, and imagine you both have some type of scarf over your heads, but then you're trying to embrace each other, but you both got masks on. That is defeating the whole purpose. Allow the divine to direct to you who the person is supposed to be. Now, no harm, no shame, no judgment zone here. If you want to break the cookie jar and give up the cookie, you know, before time, so be it. But know what it is and don't expect anything less than that. Don't expect anything less than that. Get to know who the person is. Allow the divine in your relationship whether it's already happening, whether it's on the verge of, or if you're still seeking. Deal with your baggage. Take that backpack off and take the rocks out your backpack and start assigning them names of what each rock represents. Because all that backpack is doing with those rocks is weighing you down, baby. It's going to come a time when you're going to have to take down that backpack, find a table, and put them rocks out there and identify what each one of them rocks is. You feel me? Don't do that to the other person. Deal with your hang-ups. But what I can tell you is that your past experience can also assist you in your new one if symbols that you need to watch out for. But don't ask for it. Don't make the assumption. Don't do that because that's not fair to you or the other person. That's all I'm saying. I mean, like I said, I'm not a relationship expert, but I know when somebody's emotionally detached. It's as plain as day. So why would you start out in a relationship being emotionally detached, feelings detached, not wanting to share your life with somebody else? If you are living authentically, it should just roll right off your lips in the given time when you feel safe in this relationship. We have had our fair share of fake people who take our weakness and take our trust and crush it. It's just experience, babe. Don't avoid love, you deserve it. Each and every one here deserves to find love and to be in love. But don't start out being detached, not wanting to show the authentic you. Because the authentic you is beautiful. It's beautiful. And you deserve to have somebody who matches your energy in that way. But just don't jump out the gate, baby. Take some time to learn your person. It's rather to be cautious in the beginning and take your time and understand and get in sync with the vibration of the person that you're with than to jump out the gate, hit it and quit it and say, I don't want nothing to do with that no more. But it's already, feelings already caught up. I don't care what you say. You can break off somebody a piece of something, but that's a piece of you that's attached to them. And there is some type of an emotion, whether it's short lived or not. So don't get it twisted when they said, I just broke them off something. They don't mean nothing to me. That's a damn lie. Look in the mirror and slap yourself. There's emotion attached to it. Because even if you was to jump off, right? And you go on to the next chick or the next dude, right? The person that you had just had to jump off with, the fling with, they in their feelings. Don't get it twisted. I don't care what they say. They in their feelings. I'm just saying. But I'm off the track. Don't use avoidance as a crutch to delay your love. That's all I want to say. We can have a lively conversation about other things later. But you know, when you talk about relationships and feelings and stuff, people are, they get all twisted and shit, you know. So, you know, some adults can talk about it, some people can't, you know. No harm, no foul, no judgment zone here. Do what you feel is real. But anyway, I digress. I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing, and hopefully you got something out of it, whether it's you or somebody that you're dealing with or potential. Feel me? So just putting you up on a few things, on some game. Me love you long time. And I will see you very, very, very soon. Be well.